What's up, guys? I'm Alan Brown. I coach the defensive backs here at Eastern Washington University. A little background about me: played here from '09 to 13. Graduated with a business degree and got into coaching GA here for a year with the back end, and then went down to Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo. Um, while down there, I coached the corners for 4 seasons. Had a good time, enjoyed it, learned a lot of stuff. Got the opportunity to come back here in 2019 and been working with the defensive backs ever since. So it's been good. Excited for this fall. Obviously, we got a spring and that was good. Great experience for the kids, but really ready to roll come this fall. My Twitter is here and my email as well. So if you guys got any questions or want to get in contact and chop it up about the game or life or whatever, let me know, and we can do that for sure. Today I'm going to talk about some press man stuff. We're primarily a press team. We'll also talk about some all stuff too, though, towards the end. Okay. Getting into it, right? I like to for everything that we do have a why for it. And in this case, press man, I always ask guys why they play press man. And for us, it's pretty simple. I like taking away the easy throw. I like giving the illusion that we're playing press man every single snap. Um, I like getting in people's faces. I'm an attacking style kind of guy, which goes along kind of with our scheme as well and our defensive coordinator. So it all kind of plays for me in terms of press man itself. Um, it's all about taking away timing. I know guys see offenses, receivers, and quarterbacks before every practice, before every game, throwing easy ups, and the last thing that I want is teams to be throwing, or is teams to feel like they can throw easy ups on us, just fade, 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 or just a quick hitch, hitch, hitch. I want to make it hard for the opposing team to understand what we're in and when we're in it. So press man is a big deal for me. Okay. The first thing with press and and really with football in general is it's all about a mentality. For us, when we talk press man, I always talk about setting the tone, not necessarily just choking people out every snap, but setting the tone with our technique. We're going to be the aggressor. We're not going to give any ground. I don't want receivers to feel comfortable at the line of scrimmage. I want to make sure that they know that we're there and we're going to stay there. Um, for me, the biggest thing with press and with a lot of things that we do is it's mandatory that you got to have great eyes and great feet. Everybody thinks you get up there and somebody says, oh yeah, they're a hard press team, they don't give ground, stuff like that. Well, we're a hard press team, but we are all about eyes and feet. So if you take wide releases all days, we're not going to touch you. We're not. We're going to be great with our eyes and feet, and essentially that's allowing us to reroute you if you want to take that route, right? If we are great with our eyes and feet and we do face a good receiver, we're probably going to be able to use our hands, right? And if we can use all three, we're going to put ourselves in a great position: eyes, um, feet, and then hands. If we can use all three, that'd be awesome. That is definitely a plus, and I feel good about it if we do get put in that situation. In terms of a stance, right? Everybody's going to be different, and I know you guys know that. It's based on their limbs, based on how tall they are, based on how well they can bend. There's a ton of different things that can alter their stance. As a base for our guys, I like feet square, slightly outside of shoulder width, and a lot of the times it'll be a little bit bigger, depending on who you are, obviously. But I like a big, wide end game stance, not necessarily stance, but end game in terms of the position that we're going to end up in when the receiver steps up on this guy. Weight's got to be on the balls of your feet, 60-40. I mean, that's just a number, but our weight has to be on the balls of your feet. Obviously, you guys know this, man. If you end up on your heels, it's going to be a long day at the office. Right, comfortable bend at the knees, that can change, right? Some guys are a little bit taller, some guys are a little bit lower, which is fine. It's all about comfort at the end of the day. Shoulders forward, our arms are going to be relaxed if the alignment allows us. And what I say about that is as if your hands are going to be down, your arms are going to be down, you better be quick, right? You better be quick. I don't want guys that arms are down and it takes them 2 minutes to get them up. If that's the case, then I'm gonna mandate that you have your hands up, your arms up when you're in press. Most of my guys are quick enough to have their arms down, right? Or they get themselves in good enough positions to have their arms down. So I'm not gonna harp on having your hands up here or having your hands down. Just get your stuff right and get ready to swing when needed, right? Most importantly for your stance, man, you got to be able to have some type of quickness, strength, change of direction, and of course balance when we're in these stances, right? Receiver can come off the ball like that, and you better be ready to roll. Okay, right? Um, getting into alignment and leverage. Obviously, our alignment is press. I tell these guys it's usually if the receiver's on the ball, we're about an arm's length and a half away, right? And that's dependent again on how long your arms are. But we want space at the line of scrimmage. We don't want to be sucked up to the dude so that we have no space to react, right? We have to give ourselves space to react to the receiver when he takes his release outside, inside, whatever it may be. Okay. Um, in terms of leverage as a base for us, okay, we're going to either line up head up or outside leverage, right? Obviously, there's going to be times where receivers lined up on the damn red line or he's way outside the numbers. We'll take a head up line or an inside alignment, okay? But as a base, we're going to go head up or we're going to go outside leverage. And a lot of that has to do with our scheme, right? We're a base match 3 defense, which I enjoy. I enjoy closing the middle of the field. That way, if we do get inside releases, we can get a little risky and take some chances on some balls. Okay, but we'll talk about that later. So, as a base, I know when these guys come off the field, what was your alignment, man? They'll say, or what was your leverage? They'll say head up, or they'll say outside. If they say inside, 9 times out of 10 they were wrong. If we do put in some type of 2-man or something that tells us that we got to take away the inside, we'll do that. But as a base, these are our 2 alignments. Okay, when I say head up, I want to split that front foot. Okay, I want them to split that front foot. So that'll be this picture over here on the left. Okay, when I say outside leverage, this picture on the right, I want our nose to be on the receiver's outside shoulder. Okay, nose to be on our outside shoulder, and we'll talk about some of the releases and stuff like that and how we play them here in a second. Okay, in terms of the actual technique, right? Peer step. Okay, this is what I've taught for a number of years now, and this is what I believe. I've seen a good amount of people kind of change their technique to this or come to like this stuff now. But for me, this is just what I know. I've done some motor stuff in the past, and I'm not a huge fan. I like preaching confidence. I like teaching a locked in mindset, and I think this is something that not only allows but makes sure you have to do both of those things. Okay. In terms of what you got, and we'll talk about these more in depth as these slides go. It starts with an activation step, a 6-inch step to your leverage. So I'll go back to that last picture if I can. Let me see. Okay, right. Quarterback's on our left, right here. This kid here, he's head up. He's going to step with his right foot. Okay, we treat head up as in we're inside leverage in terms of a leverage foot, right? This picture on the right, okay, the quarterback is to the DB's right, okay? He's outside leverage. He's going to take a step with his right foot, okay, stepping to the receiver. That's what I mean in terms of stepping to your leverage, okay? So that's the activation step. Reaction step is going to be a step replaced to the receiver, right? Whichever way he goes, inside or outside, we're now going to take a step replace to that release. Okay, we're going to match that. Okay, the hinge comes afterwards, which obviously at some point the receiver is going to get vertical in some capacity, right? We're going to open our hips at a 135-degree angle without crossing over. That's what I mean by square. Okay, without crossing over, we're going to hinge and make that receiver go around us. Okay, and then we talked about hands a little bit. When we get to use our hands, we got to be violent. We're going to use our off hand, which most people across the country do. In terms of, excuse me, in terms of hand placement, okay, we want to try to get in that armpit, right? We want to try to get in that armpit region and get our thumb up so we can truly control the receiver. Okay. So looking at activation step, right? We got the film here. Young kid, he's trying to get his leverage right. All right, bro, come on. Quarterback's to the DB's right. I'm trying to get him to get outside leverage. He's a full man. All right, here we go. Okay, nose on outside shoulder. He's going to step with his right foot, right? Right foot. And that's all we're looking for, right? This is one of the things that goes over people's heads a little bit. Okay, all it is a 6-inch step, right? You do the 6-inch step once and then you're ready to roll for the rest of your life. No, okay, you have to build that muscle memory, right? You got to do that activation step a million times in order to truly find how you want to do it, right? Some people are 5 inches, some people are 5.5, 6.5 steps. It's all different, right? Until you truly master it and it comes out the same way every single time. It should look the same every single time as long as you get the ample amount of reps to knock it down, okay? So in this picture right here, again, we're just taking that step, and obviously he's continuing to go here, but we're just trying to master that step, right? If this is day one of fall camp, we're not even going to get to this hinge. We're not going to get to the reaction steps. We're not going to get to any of that. We're going to get to the step, the activation step, and then we'll play ball after that. If we can't get our stance and our activation step, nothing else matters, right? It should all look the same. Okay. So this is EDDs for us. This is everyday drill. It's just a step and a step replace down the line, not to get ahead of ourselves with the activation, but every step is a rep right here. Okay. You see it on this. Some of his steps look different. That comes back to, again, getting multiple reps at that activation step. Okay. We want to get big with that activation step every single time. Every step is a rep. Start over, start over, start over. In terms of the step replace, we'll talk about it more. We want to sweep the grass. Sweep the grass, okay? Both feet should never come off the ground at the same time. This is back to my Cal Poly days, right? You see it here. We got walk-ons. We got guys that can't play any football. Guys that are solid. We got all Americans. We got everything in this picture, but they all look the same, right? That's the biggest key, okay? Some steps are a little bit bigger than others, which is fine, but it's all step, light, step replace. Okay, reaction steps. All right, so before we get into reaction steps, I want to talk a little bit about wide receiver releases and what they mean to us. Okay, majority of the time with this technique, this pure step technique, we're going to see a speed release or some type of come to balance. That's what we've seen. Okay, when we get a speed release, in our heads, the most common things that we're getting out of outside speed release is going to be a fade, a back shoulder, or out. Out meaning 5-yard out or comeback, right? If we get an inside release, we're primarily getting inside routes. Okay, so in our heads, we start eliminating routes as we get these releases. Okay, come to balance would be either come to balance vertical, come to balance outside, come to balance inside. Okay, and it's the same deal. The biggest thing with that is we have to understand how we have to play that come to balance release. Okay, we love inside releases. Everybody says it's hard to complete fade balls. It's really hard to complete inside release fade balls. Timing is of the essence. Okay. And then you got drastic, right? You got drastic releases inside or outside. Okay. Most of the time, when we see these, okay, that's just receivers using bad techniques, scared to get pressed. Okay. Other times, it's truly a part of their route, right? So you see diamond releases. If we were to come here, this Z receiver, if he was to come directly outside without us, not even worried about us, okay, there's times where he'll come outside and then bring it back. Obviously, he's doing that on purpose, okay? Same thing with the drastic inside release, right? We get the drastic inside release, he gets vertical, we know what's going on, okay? He's coming back out for the banana seven. Okay. So again, we're eliminating routes in our head. If we get an inside release drastic, we're going to squeeze it and we're going to make the receiver run through us to get to that seven. Okay. If we get a drastic outside release, okay, we're going to look to intersect and meet them at the breaking point, if that makes sense. Okay. And then there's a bully release. Usually bigger receivers, okay, we just got to make sure, again, that we're locked in. We're not getting pummeled at the line of scrimmage if somebody just comes off and tries to attack us right now. We're going to get two hands on, especially if they get two. And then once the receiver declares either inside or outside, okay, we're going to move to one and then eventually get to no hands at that point. Okay, just looking at a route tree kind of goes hand in hand with the releases, right? In terms of three-step RPO, we know that those can happen fast in our heads. Okay, so majority of the time, the most common to the boundary is going to be a slant or a hitch. Okay, you can get some outs, right? Those are not very relevant in our league, okay, in our conference. And then a lot of the times, the 5 yard ends come from the field, right? 5 yard ends come from the field. For us, again, it's based on the opponent, right? You gotta study some film, okay? But the dead zone for us, where there's not a ton of routes that are going to be ran, is usually anywhere from 7 to 9 yards, right? We start getting some type of hesitation or something like that within that dead zone area. We're thinking double move in our head, okay? We're not trying to bite on routes in that dead zone, okay? And then once you get to the intermediate, and 5-step PAP stuff. Okay, now you're talking curls, you're talking comebacks, you're talking digs, posts, and fade. Right. For us being a match 3 team, the number one thing that we have to take away is fade. If you can't take away fades, you cannot play football. Hence, why fade is bigger than all the other routes over here. Okay, and why it's bolded. We have to take away the big play. If we take away the big play, it's going to be a long day. Okay, they got to complete 10 hitches down the field. That's awesome. Make them do it. Quarterbacks, offensive coordinators, that's not what they want to do. Okay, so we're going to make sure that we take away the fade and react to everything else. And then you got the slot. It's the same thought process, just the routes are different, right? The top two routes in a slot for us, what we see, okay, is going to be a big box fade, the slot fade, okay, and the slant, right? And a lot of times the slant comes off a RPO look, okay? So we have to understand when two is on the ball, when two is off the ball, how far off the ball, where's the splits, all of that stuff plays, okay? A lot of the times we'll be playing off and we'll be playing catch in the slot as opposed to pressing it, okay? But again, bigger than the others and bolded, slot, fade, and slant. We got to take care of those. Okay, getting back to the reaction steps, right? Again, we're talking appear to react. Okay, activate, react. Okay, step replace. These look way better than his EDD drill because he's way tighter with his movements, right? He's in and out of his breaks. Okay, now we're talking come to balance. Okay, receivers coming to balance. So in this picture, this is a come to balance by the receiver to the right. We have to make sure that we don't get over the top of this like this kid is doing right here. Told you guys prior to, we like inside releases. We are going to squeeze the upfield shoulder and make plays on the upfield shoulder. Okay, again, we got a guy, usually a lot of times, we got a guy right here, and we got a guy right here, our backer and our post safety. That's for us. Okay, we want to make sure that we are patient, holding this shoulder on come to balance inside releases. Okay. So he's over the top too fast. And what we're thinking when we do this, okay, he's going to go come to balance here and then get a free release back to his outside right there. We can't have that. We can't have that. That's, again, a lot of times giving up the fade. Okay. So getting back to it, he's outside leverage. Good step replace. Now he's patient, right? So now this kid comes here. He's doing his come to balance inside, if he does try to slip back out, change lanes back out, we feel good about being patient on that outside shoulder. Right? If he does go come to balance and then runs an inside route, awesome. We will now stay on his shoulder as he does that and squeeze and play ball. Okay, now you got come to balance on the outside. Now this is different, right? Come to balance on the outside, we truly got to match it. There's no patient on the come to balance outside. If we are patient, right, and we try to stay too far inside, it's going to be here by the receiver, come to balance, and then whew, take the top off. Again, another free release to get to where he wants to be. Okay, we do not want that. So we will match come to balance outside releases. Okay, and we will be patient on come to balance inside releases. If he just comes vertical, on a come to balance like he does here, it should just be a step. And then if he does close the air, we'll use two hands, get to one on declaration, and then none eventually as the route continues. Okay, so same thing with this kid here. Step, step replace, pick your feet up, patient on the come to balance inside. All right, now vertical, awesome. Okay, different kids. This is good, man. This is a good, better angle, a little lighter outside. Okay, he's stepping, he's independent, he's matching the outside come to balance. Good. Okay, now he's patient on the inside. We'll get ready to roll. Okay, if he continues to go, we'll use our right hand in this segment. Okay, and as he tries to get vertical, awesome, we will own his outside shoulder. Okay, in terms of again, let's get back into the reaction steps, right? The step replace. We talked about it a little bit in terms of we want our feet to be independent. Okay, we don't want our feet coming off the ground at the same time. If you look at this kid here, okay, he's all over the place. Hop, 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 hop. That's not gonna get it done. Okay, we're gonna struggle at the line of scrimmage if we do so. All right, so they're just reacting off of me, and it's more for this lateral movement as opposed to the top of the route, which I was trying to get 2-and-1 right here in terms of a drill. Okay, right here, this is much better. If you see these kids, their feet are coming off the ground, right? But it's one at a time. Independent, independent, independent. Really good. Okay, good. Now, switching it up right now, it's not based on me as a coach. They got a rabbit, they got a ghost receiver running the drill for him. He's going right, left, right, left. Okay, we got the agiles behind him, making sure this kid doesn't fall off the cliff. We stay lateral, independent feet. Really good job. Really good job. Really good job. Okay, and then you finish with a hinge hands, all of that stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute. Now, this is the same kid who struggled 2 feet off the ground, right? He's doing the same thing here. Same thing here. Now, I'm not the one telling him where to go. So he struggles on the release as well, okay? Our feet have to be independent. You got to lock in with your technique. Okay, and then just another, this is EDDs for us as well, okay? The first thing that we do before practice, right? Again, putting the agile behind these guys, just making sure that they understand we're not going backwards, okay? We're the attackers. The receivers have to step on our toes in order for us to go somewhere. Okay, now talking to hinge, right? Talking to hinge. The biggest thing with the hinge is we do not want crossovers. Crossover football is not a thing here. It's bad ball. Okay, we like to stay square in everything that we do. All right. So you got the step replace, and it's not going to happen like that every single time in terms of staying lateral. If you face a good receiver, you're going to get into a hinge pretty quick, which is not a bad thing. Okay, you don't have to use your hands, stuff like that. We got clips that'll show it. Okay, right here, this isn't enough, right? It's not realistic in terms of his hinge. He's probably opened up not enough in this segment. Okay, so we got to open up a little bit more right here to give ourselves a true look. Good. Okay, step replace, hinge, 3 phases. Okay, looking at it here, this is just me throwing the ball, them going to go get fades, and really it was more of a ball drill than it was the press drill. But we got to make sure that we put all in all together. Okay, again, not realistic. He's pressing, and the guy goes to the sideline. Okay, let's get a hinge. Okay, let's keep our eyes down and let's go get the football. A little bit better here in terms of our eyes, keeping them down for a second. Continue to go. Right. Okay. So looking at a clip here. Okay. Let's take a look at this guy down here. We'll talk about the hinge right here. Okay. He's outside leverage. This is a match 3 defense. Okay. He's stepping with his left foot, his leverage foot. Right. Step replace back outside. Okay. Hinge. Don't need hands. Now for us, we play everything from the top down. So if you look at his positioning right here, you love to see it. In our case, right? We want to again take away the fade first, react to everything else. Okay. So he's in a pretty good position to execute that play there. It doesn't hands are not always going to be a thing, which is perfectly fine. Okay. Again, probably not the greatest look in terms of having all these guys pressed, but we felt good about our matchups. We felt good about if there were some type of pick concepts, we can get through them based on personnel. Okay, this is 3rd and 4 here. Everybody should be working the same technique. Okay, that's how we play. Okay? Everybody should be peer stepping. We shouldn't be giving a ton of ground. Okay, down here again. Talking about the hinge, we don't need hands right here. He takes that wide release. Okay, awesome. We may be able to get a light hand, but it's not very relevant. Okay, playing it a little bit greedier, not necessarily worrying about getting high on this. Okay, because of the down and distance, more situational football. Kind of make them throw the fade in this scenario. Like what he does, just don't have to get greedy on the hands. That's good. Okay, if we look at it up top. Okay, if we look at number 3 right here, we get an outside release. Awesome. We get an outside route, and it's a little different in the slot, but still same deal. Okay, tackle that thing before that first down marker, and we're good. If you see the number 2, he's head up to inside leverage because of his split, bringing 5 right here. Okay, but he gets that inside release right now. He should be thinking inside route, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. If we get put in this position right here, we still feel good about making a play on the football, right? We'll make him catch the ball with his left hand in this picture, take away his right, and make him catch it Odell Beckham. Like, there's not a lot of guys that can do that. So we feel good about playing the upfield shoulder and still making plays on inside routes. Okay, and then hands. We talked about hands, okay? Hands are a plus. Good players get to use their hands because good players are good with their eyes and feet, right? Don't like this first rep by him because of his hand, because of his thumb being down, stop sign, stop. Okay, we want to get that thumb up so we can truly control receivers, right? Talk about it here, right? Yep, thumb up, okay? Let's get the peer. Let's get the activation, the reaction, bang, and get a good salty hand. Got to be violent. Got to be violent. Okay, we're going to use it. Let's use it. Same deal. Bang. Good. Get the thumb up. Be twitchy at the line of scrimmage. Lock it in. Make sure our weight is forward and ready to roll. Good. Same deal. Same deal. Step replace. Go get him. I ain't the twitchiest guy in the world without cleats. Put cleats on them. I'm solid. But this is a good drill to work in terms of hands. Just use an agile bag to make sure that you don't get socked out. Okay, right here, this is good. Okay, he guesses wrong initially. You see the right hand get in there. He sees declaration. He takes the right hand off immediately, and then throws the left. That's the biggest thing. You're not always gonna shoot the perfect hand, but as soon as you understand that you got the wrong hand on it, it has to come off, and you got to counter it immediately. Okay, just working some true releases right here. DBs on DBs, okay, outside release, good. Get our eyes down, make sure we're locking in, be violent. Let's get some better looks from the defense. Okay, same thing right here. Better looks from the receivers that are defensive guys. Okay, but better look right here in terms of the right, damn, shot the right hand, or the wrong hand, I should say. Okay, and then come back with the left. Now get ready to squeeze right now. Okay, looking at some more game clips. This is a good one down here. This is 4th and 1. Okay, for the game. You got a corner down here, big receiver. I think they're working some type of spacing concept. Okay, he does a good job sitting in there. He shoots both hands, feels good about it. As soon as he feels declaration, the left comes off. Okay, he uses his right, he squeezes, puts himself in a good position to narrow this route. Okay, the backer gets over the top. Quarterback wants the hitch, has to go to the flat. DN does a good job getting in that window and picking it off for the game. Pretty good. Okay, just some releases, right? Just working this. This was a freshman at the time. Just appear, okay, working our feet, working our feet. We got to be stronger with our hand. If you guys see his hand right here, there's just zero violence, okay. We got to be able to lock him out, okay, and then get into a position where we can just run from the top down. As you can see, he's playing too much throughout the route. You won at the line of scrimmage. Now work to the top down position so you can go make a play on the football. Okay, this is a good job when it comes to balance. Okay, I don't love his first step. I don't think he has a ton of power. His weight's not down enough for me in terms of the bend of his knees. Okay, but I like that he's being patient. Okay, on the come to balance inside, he doesn't get over the top right now, which puts him in a good position to come back and now get to a top down position. Again, he shoots his right hand right here, gets it off immediately, comes back to the left, works to the top down. It's a solid rep. Okay, now we're outside leverage here. Okay, stepping with our left, we get 2 on, we get the left off immediately. Okay, because of declaration by the receiver. Get to our right, we shoot a good right hand right here. Gets him in the armpit. Okay, now we're putting ourselves in a position where we can play the upfield shoulder and play ball. Right, looking at a couple one-on-ones. Right, we got the receiver off the ball. And in one-on-ones, okay, sometimes we work this on the outside where we just give ourselves about 2 yards, because we see this in the game a lot with receivers lining up off the ball. Okay, so we want to make sure that we can get some reps like this where there is more space between us and the receiver. So right here, he's doing that. He's playing outside leverage. This is a good job right here. Independent feet steps with his left 1-2. Okay, he gets 2 on. Again, he takes it off right away. The kid goes outside, which is tough on the outside leverage. Okay, brings it back inside. Right now, we're thinking inside route if he changes lanes. At this point, it's a double move. It doesn't matter. Okay, the play is over by that time. Hopefully, we got a D lineman that can get home with all that time there. Okay, but again, independent feet. If you see it, 1-2. Okay, good. Switch lanes. Stay on his hip. Nice job, kid. Same kid here. He's outside leverage again. Gives himself space at the line of scrimmage. Not bad. Okay. Here we go. We got 1-1-2. Okay. We talked about outside releases, especially the outside leverage. We know what's going on. Okay. We're thinking fade first. We're thinking back shoulder. We're thinking comeback. Okay. Those are the 3 things that we're thinking in our head. Right now, this kid is cheating. I know he feels like he's faster than this dude, so he's thinking, I may be able to steal this comeback. I may be able to pick this thing off if it happens. Well, the dude is 2 inches from the sideline. Okay, so now in your head, you got to think there is no more comeback. I got to go take care of this fade. So fade and back shoulder are the 2 things that we need to worry about in this picture. So if I'm this kid, or when I'm coaching this kid, I'm telling him to climb high right now. And if they do throw the ball on a fade, we got to pick this thing off, man. We got to pick this thing off. We're playing too much right here, thinking that we're going to pick off comebacks and back shoulders and stuff like that. Climb high, react to everything else. If this is thrown, we got to go get that thing. Right? But again, this is a good job, man, in terms of eyes and feet. Okay? Eyes and feet. Okay, we put ourselves in a position where we can use our hand. If you see it right here, there is no crossover. Okay, we're square. Nice job. Nice job. Let's go finish. Okay. Looking at, you should be able to see both guys right here and here. Let's talk about them. Let's go here first. Okay, we got, hop. It's a common thing. This happens a good amount of time, right? Especially for younger guys. You hop at the line of scrimmage, not great. Okay, you better be able to recover. He does a good job recovering. Okay, he gets two hands on. Okay, again, gets to one right away. Now we're working from the top down. He runs a hitch, good for you. Nobody cares. Okay, he catches a hitch, good for you. Nobody cares. Okay, again, let's look at my man up top. He's outside leverage. He should be head up, okay, based on that split, but it's fine. Okay, we get an inside release. Awesome. We're thinking inside routes. If we ever get inside release stack, we know what's coming. Inside release stack means fade every single time. Okay, you might get a post. For us, a lot of times it's not going to matter because of our schematics. Okay, we're primarily a one high defense. Okay, but right here we get up top. We get the inside release and the stack. We're thinking fade. Again, we'll take away his outside arm, make him catch a ball like Odell. Good luck. The chances of inside release fades getting caught are not high at all. Okay, looking up top, right? This guy here. Again, good step, good replace. A little crossover, but it's like a backwards crossover. I'm not mad at that. Okay, he's doing whatever he can to stay square right here. Right, he gets two on again. Okay, which is not bad as long as that left comes off. As soon as he declares, I'm all good with it. Okay, he declares, you got your right on, squeeze, look to make a play. Nice job. Okay, some game clips. Right, let's get to it. Let's take a look. Again, it should be everywhere, but let's take a look at this one here. Okay, we got third down. Looks like third and about 7 or so. Okay, we're bringing 5 right here. One free. Inside release. We got to be thinking inside route. Okay, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Go make a play on it. Inside release. We got to be thinking inside route. I think right here he keeps two hands on for a little too long. I'd like to see him squeeze it with just one, so we don't get into the world of a potential PI or something like that. But love the mentality in terms of I got to take a risk, a calculated risk at that, and go make this play. Okay, so here, again, 3rd and 9 here, we're playing man. We got a little bunch deal going on here. So if you see that guy pressing, he's actually jump pressing them based on our bunch check for that week. Okay, but up top, we get an inside release, we get no hands, and we get a hinge. Okay, we're good with that. Drastic inside release right here. Nice. We got to think inside route. If he does run an outside route, he's got to run through us. This is a good job by this kid up top. Okay, squeezing. And I think in my head, okay, if they throw that ball to him, I feel really good about him making a play. Okay, again, he's head up right there, steps with his right. Okay, squeezes on the inside release. He's in a position to make a good play or make a play if needed. Hey, right here, okay, we got a wide split to the field right here. And this was a call for us where this guy here, this post safety, actually should have been aligned right here. He was a quarterback player in run game, and he was a helper to this kid out here. Okay, so he should be on paper outside leverage. I think that he sees that our safety is not close to him, so he goes inside. Okay, which is fine. We get the step again, no hands. That's fine. We're thinking take away the slant. And we know that we got to take away slant fade down here. It's a pretty good job keeping his eyes on and playing ball. Okay, let's take a look up top. Again, this is the same kid, right? Freshman this year. I don't know if this is mixed knee yet. This is 2nd down, okay? But if you look at his technique, terrible. We're man-to-man right here, okay? He steps and then just opens the gate and kind of just drifts off. Not okay. Okay, we had a conversation when he came to the sideline. That ain't good enough, right? Zero confidence, don't like it, and he knows. He's looking to the sideline. God dog it, I got away with one. Okay, you come back a few plays later, right? Same kid up top, different result, right? Confident. Okay, now he's sitting in there. He takes his first activation step, reacts. Okay, he gets an inside release. Should use just one hand. Now they throw it to him again, and he ends up coming up with, again, calculated risk based on releases. Okay, taking away in our head, taking away some of that route tree as they release. Okay, again, we should be able to look at both sides. Okay, good down here. Inside release, we're thinking inside route. Kid doesn't even finish his route. Done. Okay, up top, probably open a little too fast, but we're fine playing it from the top down. It's to the field. It's the farthest throw on the football field. We should be good. Okay, let's take a look down here. Right, first down. Okay, mix D and D. He's outside leverage. This is our match 3 stuff right here. Okay, again, he feels like this kid gives him a wider release, which is fine. Okay, step replace. He hinges. Okay, doesn't give a ton of ground. Goes and gets it. It's a nice play by that kid. Now I'll say this: if we were to motor out right here, give some ground, this could have got ugly for us, right? 83 comes out. He gets attached to us. 80 catches it. He's got 1, 2, 3 to go get this thing. So this could have opened, floodgates could have opened if we did give ground. So pretty good job by 20 here making that play. Okay, now looking at this one, right? Again, I don't know if we're in match 3 or just man free here, okay? But I know he's messed up with his leverage, okay? He's outside leverage right here. His help is 2 miles away. At minimum, we should be head up, okay? With that being said, again, we get an inside release. We have a post player. We got to go run this route for him. So it's not good enough. It's not good enough, man. We got to be better than that. Up top, kid likes his matchup. It's pretty easy here, okay? Step, 2 hands on, top down, 2-yard hitch, play ball. Okay? But we have to be better at understanding releases down here, especially with the post player that we trust to take away the middle of the field. Okay. Looking at this, okay, just talking about my man up top. He's still going to work his peer. This is some of our, I think this may be cover 4 right here, where we're working a peer up top, but we're playing man and less as opposed to man. So it may look like we're in man, but then we bounce off and we go look for the first phase. So just a different technique in terms of man versus man and less. Okay, this one's pretty good in terms of teaching, right? We talked about this a little bit in the one-on-ones, kind of that 2-yard distance, right? That 2-yard distance. Really, this is like 4-yard right here. So really, this guy here is kind of in no man's land. So in these situations, I'd rather him just play off and play catch, right? So this is one thing that we've talked about in the off season about making sure that we understand we don't want to press if the receiver's 2-3 yards off the ball, because it's going to put us in no man's land, which is essentially catch right here, but at a fluky distance, right? So we need to back up and now just play breaking points at this point, okay? If you look at what happens too, okay, now we're kind of in a situation where God dog it, he got us on our heels a little bit, got us our momentum going backwards. Whereas if we were back here and playing downhill, we would have been able to drive this thing much easier. Okay, very similar to our safety right here on this tight end. Okay, our safety does a phenomenal job of grabbing that dude's shoulder and pushing him down. Okay, but I would like to see 30 be able to play this thing off and go attack it. Different up top, right? We get this tight split. We kind of know what was going to happen right here. This mesh wheel concept was a deal for them based on splits. Okay, but good job squeezing up top by 7. We got to be a little bit better with 30, and that comes with coaching and making sure that we understand the situation in terms of press from how many yards do you want to be off. Okay, right here, obviously we're goal line. We're talking goal line stuff here. Okay, both corners are pressed up, outside leverage. Okay, really, these are just kind of pick routes for these dudes. Both guys do a pretty good job owning the outside shoulder. My safety up top gets caught with bad eyes. Right, this guy does a better job, a decent job of getting to that upfield shoulder. Okay, post players should be able to help everybody based on the quarterback. Our defensive coordinator called a hell of a call right here, dropping our DN into this window and end up making a play. But this is a good job by both guys in press, just hugging that outside shoulder. Okay. In terms of change ups, we young guys, okay, you're gonna work peer, right? Young guys, you guys are gonna work peer. You're gonna get your masters in it, and then I'll let you go off and get your AA or your bachelor's in something else, okay? But I don't want to be average at a bunch of things as opposed to great at one thing and then move on from there, okay? Older guys will add to the tool bag as it goes, okay? So we got a peer to an inch out, not a motor, but an inch out, okay? We got a peer to a stab, where we'll be more hands mindset as opposed to just eyes and feet, okay? And then I always tell these guys, man, this isn't obviously just uh, a, a technique driven deal, but it's also schematics, right? They lose a one on one during the week or something and they start getting mad, frustrated, and stuff like that. God, doggy, okay? But we line up and press a lot of him one on ones, but we line up and pressing the game a lot. Okay, the difference is we're not always impressing man in the game, right? We can be bringing a corner cat, we can press bail, we can press to a flat, we can play press man, we can do whatever we want in those situations. So I think that is a mandate to tell your kids that you're not going to be in press man every single time you line up in press, right? But when you are in press man, go win your rep, man. Go win your rep. We're going to give you a break at times, but understand that it's not going to be just press man the entire game. Okay. Okay. So getting into some off stuff. Like I said, we're not a big off team, but there are times, situations, splits, and things like that that turn us into an off man team if needed, right? So just in terms of the technique, right, what we work is a slow out, right? We'll go over it a little bit, okay, but 2 read steps for quick game routes. And our read steps are all based on the the receiver, right? We don't put our eyes inside and read 3-step on the quarterback and stuff like that because I feel like all quarterbacks are different. That's a whole nother hour. That's a whole nother game plan in terms of understanding how quarterbacks drop back and all of that. Okay. So we're all eyes on the man and reading the tempo of the receiver. Okay. The tempo pedal, once that receiver starts getting up on us, okay, good tempo pedal. We talk about cutting the grass, making sure our pedal is tight, smooth, and ready to roll. Never want to be 100 miles per hour going backwards, okay? You'll never be able to get out of your brakes. So we call it a tempo pedal here. And then a turn and burst, right? Once the receiver gets within 2 to 3 yards, that's uh, based on who you are, how fast you are, how fluid you are in your hips. Okay. Once he gets within 2 to 3 yards, then you're going to turn and burst, right? It's the same mentality of playing a route from the top down in press man, right? Turn, burst, react to everything downhill. Okay. Turn, burst, take away the fade, react to everything else downhill. Okay. So looking at slow out stuff, right? Just got some drills here. I think it is. Um, we will we'll just work to slow out, okay? And right here, this is kind of why I do it. Relax, relax. Your leverage is here. We're working field here because a lot of times when we're in off, we are to the field, okay? So relax. Your leverage is going to take away a lot of these inside routes. But this is why I want guys to be slow. We're not looking to cut this route off until we know that it is a true route. Okay, slow out, relax. Okay, same deal here. Good. He takes that extra step that we needed in our read, right? 1, 2, and then there you go. He's able to eat that thing up. Okay, tempo pedal. So now we get the slow. Receiver steps up on us, tempo, slow, tempo, slow, tempo, slow, tempo, slow, tempo, turn. Okay, then the actual turn and burst, right? Obviously, hips are of the essence. Fluidity is of the essence. Okay, we're working a two-piece here, just to make sure we're good and loose. Okay, but not very relevant in terms of what we're going to do on an everyday basis. Okay, if you look at the first guy compared to this guy, the first guy is a lot better. Okay, pads are down, eyes are down. It's pretty easy in the transition. Okay, arms are stiff right here. We got to get going. Okay, just looking at the one piece in terms of a turn and burst. This is good here. Okay, our stance, our turn and burst, pad levels should never change. So if we're looking at them right here, it should never go anywhere. This is a pretty good job. Okay, stays at that same level with his eyes down on a ghost receiver's hip. And when I mean ghost receiver, okay, we're treating this as if when I turn the ball, you're guarding somebody, right? And this goes over people's head all the time. Okay, you have to train your eyes. You have to train your eyes. So once he turns, treat it as if there's a ghost receiver. Eyes are down. Okay, that's naturally going to keep your pad level down. Good, right? This kid's looking at me as opposed to looking at a ghost receiver. Good. See, last guy. Decent. Again, slow out, and then obviously you could just this is an easy drill to do. I think the best way to work off man is to work it with somebody stepping on their toes. Again, we don't do a ton of off man, but this is off in the slot right here. Okay, 30. He's outside leverage. Okay, slow out, tempo. Dude still tries to go outside with his outside leverage. Who cares? You got to eat that thing up. The biggest thing is understanding to slow out just in case he does run a out route. Get into your tempo pedal, which allows you to break on routes and then turn and burst if he does step on your toes. Okay. Looking at catch, right? Another technique that will work from off. And a lot of times when we're off, we'll work more catch than we will the true slow out, the tempo, and the turn and burst. Okay, because again, we have that attacking mentality when we're off. A lot of times we're bringing pressure or tight splits, whatever it may be. Okay, the biggest thing with catch is you got to be confident. Same thing as peer step. You got to be locked in, or they'll strike up the band on you in a hurry. Okay. Um, Three things that we pride ourselves in is big squaring in front. Okay. When we talk big, we're talking about our posture. Okay. Uh, similar to post peer step look. So when we take that step in peer step, that's what I'm talking about in terms of big. Okay, big with our posture. Okay, square. Same thing we talked about when we talk about hinges, right? We don't want to cross over. Square football is confident football is great football. Okay, and then obviously playing in front. Okay, same thing that applies in our peer step stuff, independent feet, staying in front, playing breaking points, and being able to impede routes as they get going up on you. Okay, big square and in front. Okay, easy drills, right? All you're doing is working square, independent feet. Okay, matches, stay square as it gets up on you as well. Okay, we use the same rules that we do in a peer step if he steps up on you and it is within your cylinder. Okay, you can use two hands, but as soon as he declares, you got to get to one. Okay, so right here, this kid uses one. If he did step up on him and we felt good about it, we can get to two. As soon as he goes left right here, okay, we got to get this hand off so we can now unlock our hips and get ready to play ball. Good. Independent feet, independent feet, independent feet. Good. 2, 1, none. Okay, looking at a picture here. We got our slot right here. Okay, square, square, square. He runs the out route. Keep your eyes on your man. and go finish the play. Okay, pretty good look right here. Safety on their best receiver. This kid is squares all out. Okay, bang, he gets two hands on, gets that left off, and now he's just running. Okay, big, right, big, independent, okay, square in front. Run, 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 run. Okay, so again, Alan Brown. You reach me by my email, reach me by Twitter, whatever it may be. But I love talking ball, love chopping it up with you guys. So if you guys have anything, just let me know, and I'll definitely be willing to speak. Okay, appreciate it, guys.